Good afternoon, I'm Susie Nordquist. This is your afternoon news fix for Wednesday, the 3rd of July. The government has confirmed it will introduce student phonics checks in schools next year. They'll be done after 20 weeks of schooling and repeated at 40 weeks and become compulsory in 2026. Monitoring on reading, writing and maths will also be introduced for children in years 3 through to 8 twice a year. Education Minister Erica Stanford says progress is an essential part of a world-leading education system and already done by many schools.
However, successive ERO reports tell us that this practice just isn't consistent across New Zealand.
Kāinga Ora has until November to come up with a plan to turn around its fiscal woes. The Housing Minister has released a letter of expectation for the state housing provider demanding better financial performance. Political reporter Demelza Jackson has more.
Chris Bishop says the plan's expected to materially reduce operating losses and manage within the approved debt appropriation. A refreshed board has also been appointed and will start its term on Monday with 7 new members. A review into the agency released earlier this year found Kāinga Ora is underperforming and not viable without significant savings.
US President Joe Biden has apologised to donors for his shaky debate performance last week, blaming it on travel exhaustion. CNN reports Biden was at a fundraiser telling them he'd had a busy travel schedule in the weeks before the event. Anchor Caitlin Collins says he travelled around the world a couple of times. He didn't listen to his staff and he joked he almost fell asleep on stage.
A few laughs in the room, though it's not clear that joke really landed. I should note that debate was 12 days after he returned from that foreign trip.
A new leader in ASB's economic scoreboard. Southland has risen 10 places in the last quarter to push Auckland from its number 1 spot. The scoreboard ranks regions on year-on-year growth across measures like employment and retail sales. Chief Economist Nick Tuffley says construction is booming in Southland, with many consents issued in the quarter.
And that's coming through in the non-residential area. And that looks like it's linked to some large infrastructure projects such as flood protection.
Last month was the worst June in a decade for new vehicle sales. Thomas Rice has more.
Motor Industry Association data shows new registrations declined for the 4th month in a row. The near-on 9,000 new vehicles registered was a 60% drop compared to June 2023. Ford Rangers were the best seller last month, and 2 other utes made up the top 3.
The government crackdown on truancy could be causing a drop in families taking holidays during term time. Flight Centre data shows a 30% reduction in bookings during the school term compared to last year. And at the same time, bookings during July's school holidays are up 10%. To sport now, diver Lizzie Roussel is poised to make another Olympic splash after becoming confirmed to represent New Zealand in the 3-metre springboard discipline at the Paris Games. Hurricanes and New Zealand Māori outside back Josh Morby is departing to take up a contract in France after this year's NPC. The backing of New Zealand boxing's biggest name, Joseph Parker, is boosting Auckland middleweight Andre Mikhailovich ahead of a shot at 2 world titles next weekend. I'm Susie Nordquist and that's your latest news fix. We'll be back with the next update tomorrow morning from the Newstalk ZB newsroom.